today I was invited to talk about Roma Support Group's challenge to London Council's kind of proposed cuts. And I took part in a couple sort of sessions. It was very interesting for me to sort of tell about our case, but learn from people what they thought about it and what they found useful for them. We offer frontline services to our service users. So we are set up 13 years ago as a voluntary community organization to support Roma from Eastern Europe with very practical things like welfare, employment, sort of accessing health. And we also run the kind of youth activities like sport, like football and karate, and sort of art sort of activities for young people. And one of the projects which we, as soon as we managed to fundraise for, we sort of started was education project. So we have education project now for sort of nearly 7 years. Because we had a funding from London Councils for education support project. It's very important for our community. It's sort of the community has been kind of excluded and marginalized for many decades or centuries, and many of Roma children in Eastern Europe are kind of in special needs education or segregated education when they shouldn't be. So there's high levels of illiteracy in the community, distrust toward education. So we realized that this project is very important for the young Roma to sort of get a positive kind of experience of education, to sort of get help with achieving in life and so on. So we felt very upset when we received a letter from London Councils last year in July informing us that due to funding cuts our project might be cut. When the process started, we realized very quickly that it's flawed, and some of and how it was set up, it looked that London Councils decided before the consultation process what organizations are going to have their funding cut, and we didn't feel they are going to do it fairly and really look at the impact of the cuts. They recategorized organizations, so we found ourselves in the group which supposedly was offering services in a local area, where in the beginning when we applied for the funding we had to prove we are working across London and so on. So what's happened? We obviously kind of felt it's not right, but we wanted to make sure that we are correct. We approached Piers Glynn solicitors who have been working with us on different occasions in the past, and we sort of told them about our worries, and they confirmed that from their point of view they can see grounds to challenge the London Council's consultation process, not a decision, because it was all at the stage of consultation. So what we did, we went back to our organization, to management committee and the community members, and explained what's happening, and we informed our clients that we might have our services cut, that as an outcome our education support project would stop existing. And they were very upset because many of them realized how important it is for a community to have support in accessing education, and some of the service users felt so strongly about the situation, about the possible cuts, and the fact that the process is not done properly, that they decided to take London Councils to court over this decision. We as an organization, we couldn't do it because we wouldn't have resources to do it. Where if our service users did it, they could get legal aid for the challenge. So first of all, we together with the solicitors and our clients, we wrote to London Councils raising all the points we were uneasy about and where we felt London Councils is sort of not doing the consultation process properly. London Councils didn't reply to our letter, and then we decided to challenge the decision. Not only we received the letter informing about the funding cuts, but all the other organizations which were like funded by London councils, and people from different organizations met. There were like some protests in front of London councils, like kind of offices, and they were like planning meetings, sort of, you know, like kind of brainstorming meetings, like thinking how to you know, what to do about whether we can do something together or not. Originally, there was another organization which wanted to go ahead with the challenge together with us, but eventually they pulled out. However, like 14 other organizations funded by London councils gave evidence. So the case wasn't all about Roma Support Group, it was about all the organizations which were funded by the London council. So, you know, like we wanted to show it's not just us, like kind of, you know, being troublemakers and trying to cause problems, but that other organizations are feeling the same, and I think that working in partnership with not only our solicitors but all the different organizations helped us to show that it's like kind of a reasonable case, and we fought through what we are doing, and we are not questioning the fact that the London councils have to, you know, cut some of the services, but we are questioning the way they are like kind of doing it, and the process of consultation, and that they should kind of, you know, like kind of do it in a fair and proper way. Doing this challenge, there were like kind of few challenges. One thing was fear of how we are going to be perceived, whether, you know, it will mean that, you know, we'll be sort of perceived as troublemakers, and other funders will be kind of put off from funding our services. The second thing was like kind of you know, like the fact that we are afraid that will be like kind of our standing as organization will go down. Also like kind of resources, meaning like kind of the time needed to kind of do the campaigning, do the like kind of whole like challenge was a huge constraint, because we are a small organization and most of the staff members are part-time workers, so it meant a lot of additional work on our staff members, so we had to support each other to do it. I think we're like used to fighting for our clients, so we realized that if we don't do anything, it's just lost case, and we felt like, you know, Roma case is unpopular and we are pretty much sure that our funding will be cut, so we didn't feel we risk the funding anyway. It's just that unfairness of it was so obvious that we felt that we can't really put up with that, and we have to challenge it. And I don't think we would have done it if we wouldn't have support from our management committee and the community, but because management committee and community like supported the challenge, we were able to go through with the challenge, and it was really worth it, because like kind of not only our fears of like kind of becoming like kind of having a reputation of troublemakers, like didn't realize actually our standing like kind of went up, and we had many organizations which we didn't know of before or like never worked with, like writing to us and sort of thanking for like doing this case, and you know, like funding for many of the other organizations were saved, and they managed to keep after like kind of repetition of the London councils had to repeat the process of consultation, and after the second process many of the organizations which were going to lose the funding after the first process kept the funding, so that was something like a positive outcome, and also like kind of it was empowering for us to realize that actually it's possible to, you know, being small organization, if one feels that, you know, they are like kind of right in what they are doing and prepare well, it's possible to challenge big organizations. So it was very, very empowering for us.